hardship today.
Okay, let's get started here tonight. We've got a rather short agenda, but we have a couple of extra things that we want to throw in. But let's start us off. And Dr. Laura, will you lead us in prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we want to praise and glorify you for your goodness and your mercy. We want to thank you, dear God, for the harmony and the unity of the group, dear God, as we move forward, dear God, with the passion for the children, dear God, for the school, to accomplish great heights, dear God, for your glory and for your honor. Dear Lord, lead us, guide us to, dear Lord, your will and purpose. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, and I'm going to turn it over for a few minutes to Dr. Estes. He has a few words he'd like to say, and so give him your attention.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. A point of personal privilege, I'd like to review what I said the other day at our dedication. 50 years from now, people will wonder, who was Dean Connor? What is it all about?
They will.
I would like for us, with the permission of the board, to enter these notes that will be wordsmithed by our secretary to put in the minutes so that people 2 to 3 decades from now will be able to get that information. With your permission, Mr. President, I have my rough notes, and they are rough notes. If it could be wordsmithed and improved, I would appreciate it. In the first, I'll talk about the challenge, and of course the challenge that we have is if democracy is going to survive, we've got to transform public education. We can't continue with our old factory model of education and prepare young people for the global digital society, I call it a robotic curriculum. Our curriculum needs to look like what Jim is doing in his robotics program. If you go to the 4th grade at Capel, you'll see something like that, which is a behind. Fortunately, we have had in our midst a person who has a happy combination of rather rare attributes that's needed if we're going to transform education. In fact, she's been in the process over the past 11 years of applying that skill set that had brought us from where we were to where we are now. And so, just briefly, and I'll not take a lot of time, great leaders down through time have had a happy combination of 4 rather rare attributes. Number 1, they're intelligent, obviously, but more importantly, they can relate to people. Nobody has ever accused Dean Connor of not being short on gray matter. She is indeed a genius in our midst. Some people call her a mental giant. If you go through her resume, you'll find at every step in her career, she's been rewarded, honored for excellence. But more importantly, great leaders need to be able to relate to others. You can't get very far unless you know how to relate to others. One of the staff members said that if you look at the second page, Dean Connor has been the voice of kindness, wholeness, and professionalism, making UME a delightful place to live and work over the last 11 years, but also taking action when it's needed. Now, whether or not you're in charge of a maintenance group that takes care of lawns or the President of the United States, a leader has to be able to influence people. If you're going to influence people, you have to be able to relate to them. If you relate to them, relation requires a high level of trust.
That's right.
Dean Connor has exhibited that high level of trust. I just use an example here. When DPU wanted to establish a strong business school, they tapped Dean Connor to do that job. Indeed, she applied her skill set to do that. She went in and developed a good relationship with the faculty. She won their confidence, and over the next 8 years, they built that school. She built that school into a regional and nationally recognized unit. So she has the skills that was needed. She was the first academician invited to AU in 2008. And I think the board, most of you are doing, you don't understand. I didn't know. But in 2008, a group of parents from Big Springs and Grace Prep schools got together and had a fantastic idea. They wanted to take the best of those schools, model it, share it with the rest of the schools in the state to improve. And we are the result of that. She is a visionary. My point is, she not only has ideas, but indeed she is able to implement those ideas real quickly. At the bottom of the second page, more importantly, she was, look at number 2, just quickly. In fact, she has served as the bridge moving from that small group of people to where we are today. She's provided the leadership. Well, the single individual is more responsible over the last 7 years. She worked with the family group and pulling that together. Number 3, a great leader has to have intestinal fortitude. So
Yeah.
She has the intestinal fortitude to stay with the test in spite of exceeding the insurmountable odds. And I put a little note in here. The odds were pretty great. If you think about where we were 11 years ago, we didn't have a bucket or a window to throw it out of. Right? We started with nothing, just an idea. And now, of course, he tells me that our value is about $23 million. Well, that's not bad. She indeed has the drive, has been a driving force, and she's making that C number done. This is one of the most important things I say. But she's been a voice of wisdom in guiding UME Prep to successfully demonstrating the original intent of our proposal that we submitted in 2010 for this school. That is, we wanted to demonstrate that we could provide higher achievement, greater achievement at less cost. And indeed, we have done that. I'd say we have to increase achievement by 25% at 23% less cost. Dallas ISD spends about $12,500 a year, and we spend what, $9,000? That's about 4 years. So my point being that we've demonstrated with great success what we intended to do, and we have substantiated the viability of charter school legislation. Charter school legislation is designed to transform education in Texas. That's what it's all about now. There are a lot of other things that's been done on the side of that as we've gone along. But indeed, we're in the part demonstrating that. And the last one, of course, my last point is she seeks the power. All great leaders seek that power that can only come from above. And she's a person of great faith. We are fortunate. We are fortunate here in our UME community to have a person like Dr. Connor to assist us in this very important process. She is a change expert. She's lectured on it. She's worked at camps. She's taught courses. In fact, she's written like somebody writes a book. You know, it doesn't concern us if nobody reads it, but we write it. And, so our commission, we could have our secretary broad brushes, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Great idea.
For the future going forward, staying with the vision of why you did that for people 50 years, I think you said from now. I'm sure I'll be gone. You may still be here, but I probably won't. I would like to just suggest that maybe we add her resume to this, so that they would have her resume along with your notes.
That is an excellent idea, because you have to read her resume to realize how great a contribution she's made up into her career, and which has laid the foundation to what we needed here in order to arrive at where we are today. It's an
Okay.
excellent idea.
All right, we can do that. All right, got it.
All right, excellent. Excellent, thank you. Well, as much honor as we throw on Dr. Connor, there's a few other people that I'd like to recognize tonight. And there's not really a good time in our agenda that we have, but I want to recognize Dr. Estes for his servanthood here on the board, as well as Mrs. Prince. Thank you very, very much. So this will be their last meeting on the voting board, but they're all going to join us emeritus. So,
They can't go away.
and we have some.
We do.
You want to handle that?
Yeah. We just want to say thank you to the three of you guys and all of your service and what you've done for this school and board. So we just have a little something.
They're giving you a pineapple.
I could be wrong about that.
I thought it was 7. Yeah, it was 0.
So we can't express our gratitude enough. We just want to say thank you for everything that you have done in your service and the time and effort and love and commitment. So thank you so much.
Excellent.
That's a trip to Hawaii.
Yeah.
We also have cake, so I don't know if you want to have cake later. What do you want to do?
Later.
Mr. President?
Later.
Okay.
Well, we're still digesting. So, but anyway, sincere thanks to all of you. That's fantastic.
Look, Mr. President, just let me say thank you very much. This is very appreciated. Collected a lot of hardware for this. I started with charter schools back in 93. We started talking to the legislature about it. And then they passed the law in 95. So it's been very great for me to be on the other end of it now.
Yeah.
To see that indeed it was a good idea. It will make a difference. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
We're going to miss the three of you.
Yep, for sure. Okay, well, let's get back to our business at hand here. We do need to take a look at the board minutes from our June 18th minutes, and that's an action item. So if you've had a chance to look those over, I will need a motion from someone to accept those minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second?
Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. And also, we'll need the same thing for the July 15th minutes, and that should be in your packet as well. So if you've had a chance to look those over, may I have a motion for those?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Stephanie. May I have a second? Charlie, thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, that takes care of our board minutes. And we'll move right on to our CEO report and Mr. Spurlock.
Okay. Annually, we go out to bid on our insurance contracts, and we've done it the same way for all 7 years. We use a person that actually puts it out to bid. His name's Daniel Holster, and he's done a fabulous job, and he's done a good job this year. I'm going to hand these out, but then I'm going to ask them right back from you after we get finished. And the reason for it is it has all of our liability insurance coverage and things like that. So I would like to buy it pretty quick. And so we've more than doubled the size of our building, and our insurance is less than half more again. So that's a good thing. We put it out to 3 different, well actually we put it out to probably 10 different, and we got back 3 good bids, and out of the 3 good bids, I sat down with Ulster and we went item by item about the coverage. And what I'm proposing to you is the Berkeley option. As you'll look, you'll see it. And it's $103,640. That's the insurance coverage. And I've asked to buy down the wind and hail damage, because now everybody's gone to 1% of your total value of your buildings, and so we can buy that down to just $50,000 exposure by paying $10,233 more. So the total of this is about $14,000. So I'll present that to you. You have to approve it, unless you want to do something different. But this represents probably 10 different. And he puts it out to bid by more than one company. In other words, you can see there's 10 different items on there. There's probably, each one of those represents a different company that comes under another umbrella. So it's the best way to get your insurance premiums. But then what you have in front of you is what I propose.
I noticed the policy fee is missing, looks like, in there. Was that made up somewhere else?
That's a great question, and I can't answer that. I think it's included in it, but I'd have to go back and look. Yeah. Good point. No, good point. Okay.
Yeah.
Things not good.
I'm guessing because they have it listed as NA that it's rolled in elsewhere.
Rolling something else is right.
That's what I would assume. So, and this is, Mike, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to
Just approve it.
just approve it? So we don't need a formal.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
So, sometimes, especially on the general liability, defense costs are included
They are.
in the overall cap, and other times defense costs are separate.
They're in this. They're in.
Okay, no, like the cap.
Right.
So is the defense cost included in the cap, or is defense cost outside of it?
It's included inside the cap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we have it outside the cap, it actually helps us, because then they will defend, and it's not in the overall cap. How much does it go up if we explore that option?
That's a good question.
Because then it doesn't matter to you what it costs to defend anything.
Right.
They'll still handle all of that, and we still have the coverage that's the named coverage in the policy.
Right.
So,
That's a good question. You want to defer this. Unfortunately, this comes into effect by the time school starts.
well, my recommendation is that we go ahead and approve this, because then we have, and then you can go back to your agent and just explore.
We can do that.
So,
That's good. Second that or what?
Yeah.
Why don't we put yours in there at the same time?
Okay.
Yeah, your question in there at the same time. That's fine.
Okay. Do you want to do each of these separately, or I'm
No.
sorry. That's all we're doing.
No, it's, yeah, they bring it in as a bid, a whole bid.
Okay.
So it's already kind of picked apart.
Okay, so.
Do we need to accept it though? We need to vote?
Yeah. She
Unless
just
you wanna
kind of
go there.
made a motion.
Can we-
Okay, Stephanie made a
Second.
motion, Gary seconded it, all in
Yeah,
favor,
with
say
some
aye.
qualifications.
Aye.
Okay, so,
Yes,
So,
please
so the
pass
motion
it back.
actually was, we accept this, but we want Mike to go back and ask a few questions.
Yes.
explore
Yes.
other,
That's,
Yeah.
that's the motion.
okay, and he
And
did.
if-
And we have to hand these back.
Yep.
Okay, and now I'll turn it over to Jean and, tell us how we're doing, Jean.
Good evening, everybody. The packet included July financials at the end of July 31st. We can start with the dashboard. We continue to making profit. At end of July 31st, we're at $558,000 surplus. If we would add into the depreciation, which is non-operating expense, we would be at $756,000. We maintain very strong balance sheet. We have about 136 days cash on hand. We are walking toward the end of the fiscal year. We will be doing analysis on the administrative ratio analysis. So hopefully that number will come down a couple percentage. So we will shoot for 13-14% on the admin cost. Normally what I do with our staff is just go through all the admin costs to see if anything we need to be recoded or any of the costs really involve classroom activities that need to be coded function that. So that's what we normally do. And if there are any capitalized items need to be taken out. Sometimes they're small, but you have useful life of 3 years or more, we could capitalize them. So that will reduce the cost on admin costs. We never had any problem with student and staff ratio in decline, so we're good on that indicator. Our current ratio is at 1.87 at the end of July 31st. Couple of items on the notes I would bring your attention. Again, that we know we have a new building now. All the bond required disclosure has been all up to date. It's always been up to date, and we continue monitoring the expenditure on the construction project, which is kind of winding down. The big chunk of money in the account right now are the $1 million retainage as well as about $1.5 million TSET money. We have not touched them yet. Plus there's a couple items that are related to contingency funds still in the account. We're looking at somewhere around $4 million at the end of July, which we will start paying out the contractors on their last couple of payments. On the right side of the bottom section, you'll see some of the notes there. The highlighted notes are the one I considered new to this month. The board approved the budget earlier in June. Now we received our preliminary 2018-19 charter first reading being A secure. We made 100 points on it. Dr. Estes, if we need to appeal, we still have a few days to appeal.
Please ask that question.
Let's let this one go.
We're good with that.
We are walking to a audit season, so we will be preparing our books for audit in the next few weeks. So our audit schedule is in October, so we'll be doing that. Any question on the financial reports? The one thing I want to make the group aware is Mike and I did a quick analysis on the cost saving for this big project we started, back in the summer of 2018. Actually, 17, 2 years ago. My gosh. So if you remember when we were approaching to the bond market right before the the end of the 2016. It was chaotic. We didn't know what the legislature was going to do. We didn't know the new administration was going to do. We were rushing to the market. So we started 5.6% interest rate. At the time, we all settled down. We closed at 5.42%. That alone saved the school $1.1 million. Wow! Just for the 30 years bond deal. So we also were successfully, Taylor was there as well. We successfully appealed to the TSEP grant board. We got our $1.4 million the debt service reserve money released from our reserve fund to our general project account, which that will support the current project as well as future project related to this project. So that alone saved us almost $1.7 million. If we would have to go borrow that money from somebody at the same interest rate. So because that money was set aside for a whole year worth of your debt service, you cannot touch it for the next 30, 35 years until you pay off the bond. They will use that money to pay off the last year of your bond. So we also were able to save about $400,000 on two contingency items. One designed for the Dallas campus. We spent pretty much all the money except about $32,000 left. And we still have about $354,000 left in the contingency fund that's in the bond account that's supporting anything that relates to this project, including Duncanville project. The Duncanville was in the picture when we offered the bond. So, then we have some change orders on this building. We spent about $125,000 just extra beyond our $12 million guaranteed maximum price. So if we tally all up, we saved the school about $3.1 million total project. Wow. Yeah.
That's amazing. Great job.
That's great leadership from Mike and Taylor. And of course the board.
Administration.
Yeah,
Really,
yes.
thank y'all for.
Thank you.
And here all this time I thought you were the magic man.
No, I didn't make anything up. I saw the factual numbers there.
Just keep the score.
Well, I just keep all the numbers.
Incredible.
Tell them we went from 60 10 times.
We were, Dr. Estes was asking where we at, 5, 6 years ago. I look at the 2013-14 audit balance sheet. We had about $600,000 cash. And if you look at your balance sheet in your packet, we're at almost $7 million cash. Yeah, 10, 11-fold for the past 5 years. Wow, it's a phenomenal amount of growth, and also the very prudent financial management.
It's $7 million.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Gene with regards to the budget on anything?
I do have an item I need for them to vote on that. It's the last item on my section. It's considered to take possible action on authorizing the CEO superintendent to amend the last year's budget to its actual revenue and expenditure. This is just for the audit purpose.
Yeah. At that time, it was just a budget, and now we have the actual, so we
Yeah, we do amend for the actual.
That's, I don't see
We need
that as a problem.
we need to vote on that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just take all the financials, and I do have a motion to accept the financials as Gene has presented. Gary, thank you. May I have a second? Thank you, Dr. Laura. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
Okay, Caleb. Oh, I'm sorry, B, yes. That's to consider and take possible action by authorizing that the actuals take the place of the budgeted items in the 2018-2019 budget. Do I have a motion for that? Thank you, Charlene. Second, Dr. Prince. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, great. Thank you. So, Mike, you'll take care of that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, Mrs. Smith.
Yes. Okay, so last time we met in July, we voted on the resolution to postpone the possibility of an Arlington campus for a year. So you've already voted on that. But we didn't actually have the resolution yet for you to sign. So tonight, I don't want you to sign the one that's in your packet because we need your signature all in one paper. So when we finish, just don't leave. Ginger will get your signatures on this resolution so we can get this sent in. And then we'll be ready to postpone that for a year until next fall. And along those same lines, we have preliminary approval on the $400,000 high-quality resolution grant that we applied for. We got a letter back from TEA that we preliminary have been accepted, awarded that money. So it looks like everything is going to go through. If we do open that campus, we will have a startup amount of $400,000 to use.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Wow.
just received that last week. So that's exciting.
That is great.
Yeah, isn't that great? Okay, we do want to just full disclosure, let you know that we have signed a new agreement contract with Xerox for our copiers. And the great news is that Drew is our rep for that, but that is why we want to be upfront about that. It did go out to a bid, and Drew, you have to help me if I get this wording wrong, but it's a pre-bid cooperative contract that provides very competitive pricing. It's a program through PACE is the company. And with adding a whole building full of copiers and upgrading the copiers in the old building at the Dallas campus, I should say the elementary, I call it that. That's not very nice. And the Duncanville campus, we are actually paying less this year than we were last year for just the copiers in the elementary building here and the Duncanville building. So we have got a really great deal. I think the savings were, it's like $2,000 less for the contract this year.
I can tell you, it's $3,700 as opposed to the past $5,092.
Excellent.
2,000.
So almost 2,000. So I feel like we got a really great deal for some high quality products for our teachers and our faculty and staff and all of us who use
but
that.
how about the
It's
ink?
necessary. Pardon?
So, how about the ink?
The ink?
I mean, they'll give you the copies as long as you buy the ink.
Do you know what? In this deal, it's unlimited black and white copies.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
we have to buy the toner.
no, the toner's included in our
Oh,
service
well,
agreement.
there you go.
So.
Even the ink.
The best news is
You
if
tell
we have a
John's been
problem.
doing this before.
If we have a problem, we just pick up the phone,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the service has been phenomenal.
Yeah, the relationship has been great, but it did go to a competitive bid, just so you guys know that, and
It's also
so,
recommended by region. It's
Yeah,
allowed
Region 10.
So you don't have to go through the bid process.
so I want you to be aware of that. That's just an information item. Then I did want to share with you, we did get our Charter First rating back, which Jean already told you. We received 100 on that rating from TEA, and our academic grade score came out, and we also have an A for UME Preparatory Academy District. And so we're excited to have an A again for this year. So when we get all the details of that grading for both campuses, we are going to share that with you. That's called the taper report, and that has not been released yet. So when that is released, we will share that information with you. But we do have an A. So
Is
another.
that for finance Is that what
This is
for?
financial
For finance, okay.
charter first, but what I'm talking about now is the academic rating, which is the scores, the grades for the district, the academic score, which is for how well our kids are doing.
Yeah.
So we received an
We received an A on that. Congratulations.
I know. So we're very excited about that.
Wow.
So I saw a list of the charter schools in the Dallas-Fort Worth area today that did receive an A, and there are a few more than there were last year because I think people are figuring out the system. But we're still in a very elite group. There are not a lot, but a handful that received an A this year, where we were one of just, I think, 3 last year. Some schools have upped their game, which is great for all of our kids in the state of Texas. So that's a good thing. So we're really excited about that. And I thought you would be interested in, I think Ginger has an enrollment report for we're keeping her hopping. Ginger, can you hand me one? Yes, I had one. Thank you. Mark Gibson. Since we just started school, I wanted you to see where we were with enrollment. We are adding students every day. We're still adding students. So the front page that you have is the Dallas campus. So you're going to see that our total for the Dallas campus, our actual current enrollment right now is 988. I feel like we'll get to 1,000 on this campus very quickly. If you look at the accepted and pending paperwork, we have 17 students on that list that we have accepted their paperwork and that's just pending to get them through the complete process to enroll. So we have 17 sitting there that we're just waiting on last minute paperwork. We have a few students in the wait list column that we possibly can plug in, but you will see by doubling the size of our number of grade sections that we offer, we have depleted our wait list on this campus for the first time since I've been here. At certain grades, we don't have a wait list any longer. So we will rebuild that this year. When we get to January and start an enrollment process, we will rebuild that wait list, but for right now, we do not have a wait list in certain grade levels. We have a heavy wait list in 6th and 7th, so if you want to come to 6th and 7th grade, we've got a long wait list, you're probably not going to get in.
Wow.
But besides that, it's looking really good. We still have 205 on a wait list. We are still adding a few students. You can see in certain grade levels, we have a few spots open, not a lot. Okay, and then the second page is Duncanville, and they ended the year last year at 220. They are at 210 right now, which I think looks stronger than I at one time thought it was going to look. So I feel confident in that, and that we're going to add some students there also. We don't have a heavy wait list. We don't have any wait list except at kindergarten. So that doesn't mean we won't get people who walk in. Our total capacity on that campus is 264, so we want to keep working to get closer to that capacity number. But I feel more confident in that number than I did a few weeks ago. So total of both campuses right now is right at 1,200.
So did you expect it to be down at another period?
We did from preliminary
From
in the fall, in the spring. We did.
Why?
Well, we moved a lot of students over here because we had the space and they requested to move. And so we moved a lot of students to this campus. So that left them with a lot to replace. So that's why.
And probably they had maybe brothers or sisters
A lot
already
of them
here,
did.
and they wanted to move that over.
Right.
And you have the space for it now?
Yes,
Yeah.
where we didn't always in the past.
And in fact, from the previous meetings, I think this is great that we have 210. I think it's backfilled very well.
Yeah.
I'm like you, I'm very pleased.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
Very good.
Okay, The only other thing I wanted to share tonight is just how remarkable it is that things have gone so smoothly the last week and a half, considering what we have done over the last year. It has taken a year of planning on this team's part to get ready to add 400 new students, families, and it has gone so smoothly. Just like these families and kids have been part of us for years. You know, I walk around the buildings and they're all in their classrooms doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's pretty amazing. So it's exciting.
That's great.
Yes.
To go farther than that, they're all running on empty. They've been here all summer. They've been moving furniture. We've dealt with fire marshals that are not very polite. And so we had to move the furniture in there, twice across the way. And so, but they've all done it, and it's amazing what they've done. You know, a lot of schools hire people to go make that move. These people moved the building. And so, and they did it happily. I mean, I didn't hear a bunch of whining or anything. They actually took charge of it, and it's just amazing. When I come through here in the morning, it is very, very nice. I've been in hotels there most years, and so it's just they've done a fabulous job, each one of them. And you can tell in their faces they're tired. That's not to say you're not beautiful. I said that once in my life, and I regret it. They're doing a great job.
Well, we're all still smiling and we're all still friends. So that says something. It's a great team, and it's really been a year and a half of preparation. And I think, to see the fruition of it has been really awesome. Because it's been a lot of planning and a lot of work, and this summer was intense. But we made it, and all the kids are in class, and they're all calm and productive and doing what they're supposed to be doing. So it's been pretty great.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Kayla. Let's go back. So on the resolution for the postponement of any additional campus, we talked about it, but we didn't have the resolution. We weren't able to vote on it before.
We did vote. We just didn't sign it.
Okay, so
we've already voted. The action is just
to sign it. Okay, that's what I wanted to clear up. Okay, so we'll do that at the end of the meeting. Just nobody leave until you sign that. And now I'm going to turn it over to our parent rep, Drew.
Okay, if you guys want to go ahead and take out the PAC report, I just have some notes here that I'd like to review with you quickly, and I categorize this into 3 parts: past events, new ideas, and then upcoming events. So I'll share quickly, but starting with the past events, we actually had a district PAC meeting. What that means is having both PAC teams come together, and this was not during the school year. This was actually in the middle of the summer. It was June 29th on a Saturday. And we also had Kayla, of course, was there, and the principals were there, and it was a fantastic time to just get together, and I was amazed by the energy. Probably it was about a 2.5 hour time, and basically planned out the entire year, and just a great time of participation. We've also done the 7th on the 7th. That basically is an event for 7th graders because of the big transition that they go into. The PAC really wanted to honor them, and so they went to a trampoline park. So sounds like a good thing to do, right, for 7th graders? And they had a great time there. The Dallas PAC also did a teacher in-service dinner, which was on August 14th. They fed 150 teachers. And I looked at the menu. I think it was brisket, if I'm not mistaken. So this wasn't hot dogs and hamburgers. Did it go well?
It was delicious.
Okay, excellent. The big one that just happened was open house, and that was both for both campuses. And I was personally here for both days at the Dallas campus because I happen to have a high school freshman and a kindergartner. So I'm on both ends of the spectrum, and I got to participate. The energy was great. I also hung out at the PAC table. We ended up getting 2 additional applicants for the PAC team here in Dallas, so that was exciting, and all the parents seemed to have a good time. I did get to speak with Shannon. Shannon, you let me know, great participation on y'all's end, right? I think it was 75% on Back to Teacher Night, so great participation, and everyone had a great time. So moving ahead to new ideas, I just wanted to share with you, we have these meetings as PAC teams. I want to share a little bit of a taste of what comes out of that. So number one, what they've decided to do is have district PAC meetings once a month. So in other words, both campuses have their own individual meetings. They want to also have an additional one that combines campuses. So we're always looking at how can we bridge the gap? How can we really, work together? I think that's a great idea. We're also looking at some district-wide community building events to put both campuses together. The upcoming one is going to be the Fall Carnival. I don't know if any of you guys got to participate in that, but that was amazing. We had incredible participation. It raised a lot of money, several thousands of dollars, and both campuses came together. So we're going to do that again. But we're also looking at hosting, Duncanville is looking at hosting a spring picnic.
It's fall, it's this right. That's school picnic.
Oh, I'm talking about this is going to be a district picnic. Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So that's going to be great. Kayla had a great idea of bringing back floats to homecoming. She mentioned that, so look out for that when we have the homecoming game. We're looking at expanding fundraising efforts and also investing in upper school students. So Mr. Tweedy participated in the last PAC meeting, had some great ideas. You can read those there, but basically from a 7th grade level, he wants to create more opportunities for families to have fun together. So we're looking at ways, how can we use the funds that are raised in PAC to do that? 9th grade, create fun opportunities that emphasize learning. And then 12th grade, once a month, having the parents and PAC partner to bring lunch, learning, and fun to seniors. So taking that time out and investing back into our seniors with both parents and PAC members. So again, these are just some of the new ideas that PAC is bringing to the table, and I think it's great. So in closing, I'll just name a couple of upcoming events. Book Fair is happening this week. North Texas Giving Day is going to be on September the 19th. I'm sure we have a pretty high goal for that. We did exceed that last year, and I've heard that we're going to maybe have a few prizes. So look out for that. Homecoming, of course, is coming up Saturday, October the 19th, and the Fall Carnival. And then, as Shannon had mentioned, this coming Friday, you're having a back-to-school potluck picnic?
Correct.
Is that correct? And everybody's invited here?
Yes, we're all invited this time.
Okay, fantastic.
You
So,
don't have to bring anything, you can just come.
fantastic. Well, that's my report, unless anybody has any questions for me.
I'd like to say one thing about one of your participants, Luis. What's Luis's last name?
Esparza.
Esparza. We had, I think we had the fire marshal 5 times. It's the worst nightmare. And what happened was they flunked one of the buildings, and which is not uncommon, but what happened was they said also too, our buildings were 30 inches too close. So as a result of that, they went back and made us do a fire on every building on the campus, including the portables and the older building, which is 2094. Is that right? 1994, whatever decade that is. Anyway, and so they included, and what happened was this Luis Esparza, we walked around with him and we said, if we can get it fixed, will you let us pass? And so I had an electrician there, I had the plumbers there, I had everybody. We had to have somebody from air conditioning, and Luis donated 2 full days of his time to be that air conditioning guy so that we would pass. So I take my hat off to one of your parents who just volunteered to do that, spent 2 of his days. He owns his own business, so it didn't come at a little cost, and it cost him. So I don't know. maybe write a letter or something.
I think that would be a great idea, absolutely.
It's just, and he gives and gives and gives, so if we can do that, sure.
Yeah, let's do that. I think he would be, that would mean a lot to him too.
We'll keep going, Drew. So you have something in regards to the security plan?
Absolutely. So just switching gears, I've been privileged to head up the security committee or the safety committee, and this has been a process, over the last several months, and privileged to have a great team alongside of me to look at this. And Pastor Laura was, of course, in that. Dr. Holmes and Shannon, of course, was a part of this as well. And we've been meeting with a group named Tier 1. We've also done some other research and gone to some conference. But this really, if I could just take a moment, this is near and dear to my heart, particularly because I've had a parent approach me about this topic, and it really stirred in my heart to say that even though it's a small possibility that something would happen that's devastating at this school, I think we owe it to our kids to be prepared. And so that was really the passion behind this. And so we've been able to meet with Tier 1. They're a very unique organization, much different than a lot of other security groups. And Mike, I wanted to defer to you, if I can, for a moment, just to maybe explain a little bit more about the process that we've taken and what Tier 1 is offering.
Sure. One of the things that I have found is that the legislature and the state, they know we need to do something, but they don't really give us any guidance at all. Plus, it's not funded. So what we started back in probably the late spring, started meeting with different people and talking to different people. And I talked to local police officers, and they've all been through this training too. And we came up with Tier 1 and found that they were by far ahead of the pack as far as the kind of things that they were offering. You have a copy of this right in front of you. There's 3 options that you'll see. And as we met, this is a committee. Gary's on it. Drew's on it.
That's right. Shannon is on it.
Shannon's on it. And so we kind of, this is our first attempt to do a committee type process like this, but we got together and we got a representative from Tier 1 here too, who's also a Dallas police officer. And we found this proposal to be the best. And it's also, this is, at this point, you can't predict where these things are going to happen. I think, what did you say the likelihood was to be hit by lightning? Yeah, lightning.
More likely to be involved in school shooting. The difference in school shootings is much more devastating.
That's right.
And so we met with them, like I said, and he's been to the police department. Also, too, if you remember, Dallas is in shortage of police officers. I think it's 1,000. So their response time is longer than it would be in some other communities. And so we put together this, we proposed. This is not a final step. This is a first step. And it may be a first step for 10 years. We don't know. But it's a good first step to having it. We've had them on campus since the school opened this last year. And what we didn't violate y'all's confidence in doing a contract, but we contracted with them independently for a week, or it's actually 2 weeks now, to come in and do this, and it's been very smooth. And they have had an officer on campus since the day we opened. We're real pleased about it. One of the things that the committee too wants to explore is putting a car, police car of sorts, on campus, and we're doing that. They won't be knowing about what the possibilities of that be until about October, isn't that right, or the end of September?
Very strong, just depends on what's on.
Right. And they've adapted whatever we've asked them to do to this proposal, so they've worked with us very well. To give you an idea, I called them today and said, because we are now backing traffic up almost onto 408. It's
You're
on
not
the
supposed to say that out loud to everybody. I'm kidding.
Okay, we did. Anyway, the issue was I picked up the phone and called them. They're local. They're just south of us, what, 5 minutes?
5 minutes, correct. Yes, I know, international, again, probably around.
Yeah. And they've responded. They're going to come out and monitor it tomorrow and look to see if there's something we can do to make that process better. Pickup is great.
Yes,
Okay,
pickup's great.
Pickup is great. But it's the drop off, and then you've also got the other school across the freeway there that's integrated, and they turn both ways. So we're going to have a police officer tomorrow to monitor that. But what we propose is option 2, and they've given us. Tony Tinderhold is associated with this, which is state rep, but his mother-in-law works here, so we got a pretty good discount there. You see, it's at $59.5, and then we'll see what the car comes back. But that's what we're proposing tonight is the $59.5 for it's a year's agreement.
Now, am I correct, was option 2 also technically level 4 officer?
Yes.
Or not?
The equivalent, yeah.
The equivalent.
Yeah.
So not level 3, level 4?
Level 4.
Okay.
And he's actually becoming a police officer. He's been in the military and through that process, but he's also gone through the academy to be a police officer. I think you'll like him. You can't miss him. He's 6'4" plus, I guess. He's huge.
So we already have a person, Mike?
We do.
Okay.
He's been here for 2 weeks.
He's been here,
Okay.
he
Okay.
started the
Yeah.
first day of school.
Yeah,
So
and
the phrase that's kind of concerning from just a more legal standpoint is the phrase that says the minimum training required to carry a weapon.
Right.
And I could see the media getting a hold of that if anything goes wrong, if he only has basic training.
Well, that's why I've had him here to come and talk to you about the training that they go through, because it's different.
Okay.
So we'll let you want to address that?
Yeah, I can speak to that. I will tell you that we're a very unique security company. 99% of all our employees are retired or active law enforcement military officers. They receive the highest level of training in the state. We require their shooting proficiency scores to be 95% or higher because they're in that school space. So when you look at regular school resource officers that are supplied by police officers, by the police departments, they're required by the state to have specialized training to work in a school environment. It's called school-based law enforcement training for those officers. What's interesting is that's mandated, it's another unfunded mandate to all law enforcement agencies. The problem is there's only a handful of instructors in the entire state to train all law enforcement officers to work in that environment. So how police departments get around that is they rotate out those people. So that said, there is no mandate for security officers to receive the same level of training required by police departments to be in the school. All of our security personnel have the same exact training as law enforcement. That's what separates us from any other security company out there. So yes, they are trained to level 4, which is private investigator, plainclothes, armed. But we're proposing level 5 legislation to mandate for all security officers in the school space to also receive the law enforcement training as well. If you're going to require that of a law enforcement officer, you should require that of your security officer. Well, how we're able to do it is we have our own instructors in-house. We've sent them down to Austin to be trained. They're not training any more instructors. So when this legislation cycle comes back around and they mandate this, any security officer working inside a school will have to leave that school until they receive that training. They will be on a back burner item behind all law enforcement agencies trying to man their schools. So it's about staffing, and so that's what makes us unique. And the reason we are this way is because it's the only reason I came out of retirement was after Santa Fe and the Parkland shootings, and we believe that we could do this better. So Mike mentioned Tony Tinderholt. He is a state legislator. He's also a senior partner with us. He's also oversees TCOL, and he oversees DPS, and he also oversees the Security Bureau. He's also on the Homeland Security Committee. It's a very important person to have when we're trying to navigate all the minefields of putting armed security in this space. I will say this, y'all built an incredible institution. Y'all have incredible staff. It's almost like building a multi-million-dollar home, and you're considering, do you want the $2 padlock, or do we really want to secure what's valuable inside the institution? We will not send you somebody that's not at the level that I would be at to come and stand before you. And so we're pretty much an open book. I appreciate Mike giving me the opportunity to come and speak into that, because I think one of the questions was, when you talk about bidding these types of contracts out, there is a provision for being a sole source provider. In that, there's something called the secret process. We are the secret process because our security officers are trained exactly as law enforcement to work within this space. And all our security officers are managed and supervised by a law enforcement officer that we manage. So, any questions?
How often are they retrained?
We train year-round, and we actually even provide training to school administrators, like tactical medical training for anyone that would like to participate within that. We'll post those types of trainings. We have all our own in-house instructors for that. We do active shooter training. Matter of fact, the people that do it for the entire state are going to be coming up here in the fall, and we're going to do active shooter training at a synagogue over in North Dallas, and then we'll do it over here at the Linguistics University as well. So if there are members of this board that would like to come and observe or even participate, we would extend that invitation to you as well. I think it's important to actually see that experience and provide that. Most security companies will not be able to provide that level of training because they're more profit-based. All we care about is protecting kids. So our officers, our security officers are the highest paid in the state. They have the best equipment in the state because from a marketing standpoint, when someone comes on, we want them to be that theater, the deterrent, but what else do they speak into? We want them to actually be a part of the care team. We want them to work with the school counselor, the administration, teachers to help navigate those troubled kids, because you know who they are in elementary school, maybe even as low as kindergarten. You know who these kids are going to be when they grow up. So you need someone to help navigate that from a security standpoint and maybe offer additional resources and networks to the parents that are struggling and helping to manage that. So all that to say, I truly believe, if I did not believe we were doing what was right on behalf of these kids, I would go back to retirement. So.
They're currently doing Grace Prep and UME, both of those, and we got the chance to go over and look at the fifth movement. And I think this is, from the people we've talked to, this is by far head and shoulders above anybody else. And the training, we've also explored having people in house. You hear about let's arm the teachers and everybody. And we thought at this point that we'll go real slow on arming anybody because they could be more of a problem than they're a help. So again, I think the committee's done a good job at exploring the different ideas. And again, this is the first step of something that maybe.
I'll mention this too. I mean, I have 2 children in this school, and I have a daughter in 9th grade, and so she's already mentioned that she's met the armed guard or security guard, and that he's making attempts to get to know the students. So I think that's a great idea.
Well, you gave us one of your best ones too.
All of ours, we wouldn't hire anyone that wasn't good because they represent who we are. And to show how creative and dynamic we are, Mansfield ISD had reached out to us last year because they had promised all the parents that they would put a police officer on every campus. They didn't ask the police department if they could hire that many officers to put in those campuses, so they asked us if we could do that. We were currently establishing a police department for the city of Oak Ridge just east of here in Kaufman County. So we created their whole police department from the ground up. We hired, trained, equipped all their officers, and we did a memorandum of understanding with the city of Oak Ridge and Mansfield, and we managed that contract. They have 10 of their officers protecting kids in Mansfield School. And what's unique about that is City of Oak Ridge doesn't have a single school in their city. So when we get handed a problem, it's not like, that we just don't do that. It's more like, well, let's explore those options and see what we can come back with. So when I tell you, when Mike says, hey, these guys are really a step above, I promise you, we are tier 1, so.
It was really helpful to have you here.
Okay,
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Yep.
You don't know anything about insurance, do you?
All right, well, Drew, do you want to make
Yeah.
a motion?
I do, yeah. I'd like to motion that we move forward with option number 2. And with the idea that when it becomes available, we'd like to explore the marked vehicle option as well.
May I make a sub-motion to this?
Okay?
That we actually amend what is option 2 to reflect category 4, and that where it says on the second line with the minimum training required to carry a weapon, that's not what I'm hearing they have. But that, if anything does happen, that will come back to us so fast.
Seems more like
we are-
advanced training to me.
Right, and so I think if we can get that maybe clarified, am I overstating that?
Do you see where she's concerned?
Yeah. Right.
It just sounds to me like they've gone through a lot of training, and all of that goes to due diligence that obviously Drew and this committee have been doing. See where that is?
Yeah.
I just don't want some media person or some freedom of, information request to come
Oh, go
forward.
ahead and say it, it's an attorney.
What?
I said, go ahead and say it, it's an attorney.
Can you talk to Tony about that? I mean, it does kind of.
Well, I just would, he's talking about all the events. It's
About that.
So he's asking him to tell me about it.
Want to see what it says?
Can you just take that out?
What she's talking about, it says certified with the minimum training required to carry a weapon. What you're saying,
Just take the word minimum.
Minimum wage, right? Right.
You're not providing.
I got you.
Right.
We'll have all that. I didn't write this, otherwise I would have reflected everything I just told you. So, but yes, we can address that. They were taking excerpts from the state code and putting that in there, so,
The state can be minimum, we just want to.
You're doing all the work.
right?
And we have somebody that's really well trained. And so I just want that to reflect that, what reality is in our minutes. So-
You'll have that tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, can I have the motion and with the proper wording?
Yes, okay. So I would like to make a motion that we would move forward with option number 2 with the understanding that there's going to be some wordsmithing on minimum training to support the adequacy of that training. And then having the understanding that when it becomes available, we would like to explore the option for the marked vehicle.
She wanted to change that 3 to a 4.
Right.
And change the 3 to the 4. Under
Level 4.
officer. Thank you.
Okay. If that is clear, may I have a second? Ginger's got it, okay. So, thank you, Jerry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks to the committee for doing that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay,
Great
yeah,
job. Great
good.
job.
Good job, guys.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mrs. Smith?
Yes. So we're going to quickly just look at the board meeting dates for 2019-20. They are all the third, correct me if I'm wrong, Ginger, the third Tuesday of the month as usual, except for the August date. We have gotten smarter as we've done this. Took us a few years, but this year we moved this date to the later week just because of the beginning of school. It's so busy. So we did that again for next August. But besides that, they're all the third Tuesday of the month.
Great.
So that is just for your information.
Okay.
Two of us have really good questions.
We'll discuss that at break. Okay. All right, at this time, we are going to go into a closed session to discuss the CEO performance and compensation. And so, before we start, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
What, do you want to cut the cake during this time?
Yeah, this is a good time to do
Okay,
that.
let's have cake.
Okay. Okay, we're back in, we've been in a closed session to discuss our CEO's performance and compensation. And we are back now in open session. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I have a motion, Dave. I move that we express our deep appreciation to our Chief Executive Officer for his superb leadership over this last year, making our UME Board District one of the 4 best in the state of Texas. It did not happen by accident. It took a lot of leadership. He has provided that unusual, excellent leadership for us. In consideration that I move that we extend his contract through January 31st, 2022, with the language in the contract to be modified, altered as we have discussed, with us coming back September the 10th.
Yes.
To ratify that understanding.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Number 10.
Do we have another matter? Another motion?
I move we get the rascal.
Did you get that?
Got that.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion that we compensate the CEO for the building project coming in under budget within the amount of $30,000 bonus.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, with that, does anyone have any other questions, items of business?
My comment is thank you.
Okay, we will have, we are adjourned to meet again on here September 10th,
At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Okay. Sign papers.
Okay.
All right, now we have to sign. Ginger, give us your paper.
Oh, yeah.
Some people gotta go.